Hello everybody, this is TonTon here and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm proudly to become the first toys or transformer reviewer who review a figure from the latest or in the final chapter of the Warforged Cybertron trilogy, The Kingdom. And today I presented you the Transformer Kingdom RatTrap, which is a Maximo, not an Autobot. And let's get to the detail of him. Let's begin with the alternate mode, which is a rat. And I must say that at this time here, Takara and Hasbro has done a really good job at capturing the spirit of an actual rat. This might sound a little bit dumb, but if you look at this texture over here, they are really like furry texture. And this technique is from the Masterpiece Beast World line. And I'm glad that they recaptured it onto a smaller scale figures, because it is the best that they deserve this kind of furry texture instead of what we got with the Generation. And I'm gonna bring in the Generation RatTrap in a few minutes, but first let's just focus on this guy because he got a spotlight here today. So as you can see here, his eyes are black and painted with a little bit of white, and so that is really nice. And you got some pinkish over here on the feet as well, and of course it's on the nose. And I absolutely adore this painting because this painting angle really gives him some really nice dimension and realistic. And of course with this eye here, as you can see, he looks kind of cute and has some characteristic, unlike with the other figures of him. And one thing I will mention right now is you flip him around, you can see this is a massive robot cables. But this is a problem that even the Masterpiece line got trouble with because of this very complicated alternate mode. But I must say that from this angle, this is the leg over here, and it looks kind of like a belly to the mouse, which is really impressive. And really I enjoy that details as well. And the tails can actually move up and down a little bit, but that is for the transformation. The feet here as well is interesting because as you can see, it can move a little bit via a ball joint. This is for the actual leg, but then they did to try to make it move a little bit. But then the front leg just a fixed piece of plastic, and I really enjoy that detail. Overall, he looks cute and nice. And now I'm gonna bring in the Generation RatTrap for you to compare. Bringing in the Generation RatTrap, I must say that I hate this RatTrap looks of him because the mouth look kind of evil because of the face and design, and that is not the spirit of this character right here. And one thing I enjoy about this figure more is that if you look at this here, this is the robot leg, so they try their best to just paint it silver or gray along with this whole color here, so they look harmonious. I really enjoy that aspect of him. And also the tail section for me is also better. That is more simple but then straightforward than what we got with the Generation version. And of course I still don't really get the point of this orange section over here. That is quite stupid. I would rather have a simplified but yet better looking alternate mode of him than this guy over here. And now let's have some size comparison. This is Kingdom RatTrap versus the Earthrise Bumblebee. And as you can see, I can say that they are somewhat in the similar size of a deluxe. If you count the tail, then RatTrap will be longer than Bumblebee. And the other than that is that Bumblebee is the smallest deluxe ever. And now we have RatTrap, which is kind of smaller than him as well. But I would take no surprise because we're comparing a rat to a car. And I say that Takara did their best in capturing the scale of these figures over here. And now let's get to transformation. First off, remove this leg over here from the shell. That will become the robot leg. Now he's still kind of like dinosaur. Then bring up this. And remember, when you transform him, this slot over here will tap into this over here, so it actually locks the piece together. But remove it and then you get to the robot mode, and then at this section over here, untap it. This is connected by a slot and a tab over here as well, and the same go to the other side. And then rotate the leg and just bring it to the position like that, so they are in line. Do the same thing on the other side, and that is great. And now just bring up this piece over here to form the arms, and then you can bend the arms down. It's on the ball joint like that, and do the same thing, and just bring in the head of the mouse down, and now you can rotate the head, and then at this section here, bring the whole section up, and then there's a hook, just hook it in, and we are done. Finishing transforming RatTrap was a very satisfied procedures, and I'm glad with what we got over here, which is a nice, small, compact, yet really beautiful sculpt. And I must say that they did a really great job with this one, creating these figures. Now let's get to the details of him, and first I want to mention is the head. If you're gonna look close, I'm gonna try to zoom in the head. As you can see, he got that silver top of the head, like brain surgeon thing. It's really nice, and they painted that in a bright silver. It catches the light really good. The eyes and the mouth are painted red, which is capture the spirit in the movie. And if you look closely, he got two small teeth inside, which is really impressive. That is will be one of my favorite head sculpt for the upcoming lines. And there's not much of the details speaking of the head and the mouth, it is the same. But then let's get to the arms with the really highlight. Is the bright silver paint with the Maximo logo. That is a really nice touch of them. That was not necessary. They could have easily made it in any else way, but they chose to make it there. Really appreciate that. And then the leg is also really nice with a lot of joint, and this will be one of my favorite part about him. And it is still the same details you would see on any other RatTrap figures. But then now let's bring in the generation 1 so you can see the better compare with these two over here. The overall aesthetics of these two figures, I must say that I prefer the new one, because it just RatTrap look more in character, like you got that slickiness of a scalp of the rat, rather than a really bulky and mean looking RatTrap. And I would rather this bright orange than this other darker and much more orangey orange of RatTrap. And I would love the way they would handle this piece over here, because it just make the character look more in light rather than they try to paint this as nails. That is really disgusting in my opinion. And if we turn him to the back, and with the new one, as you can see, the back cables are still there, but they are handling more slick, and I just love the way they handle the tails that have this other guy big tail hanging around. That just look disgusting to me as well. But anyway, the generation RatTrap is still a good toys, but now with this RatTrap here, I think you got a more option of getting in your RatTrap. And now let's get to the articulation. Let's get to the head articulation. He cannot look up, but then he can do a full 360, which is also kind of limited, but I think that works for me. And then his arms, the arms here are on the same way as the old figure, the Earthrise hoist. So the shoulder is not actually attached onto the body itself via like they fake it, but it will do for now. So he can do a swing out like that, and he can bring the arm up. Unfortunately, with this design, his arms cannot move backwards because it is blocked, but then that would be fine for me. And he got a ball joint elbow, and that will be a swivel for him as well. And the hands are not articulated at all. There is no waist swivel for this guy. When the leg is really good, he can kick up and kick to the back and can do a beautiful split. And this is the highlight of this guy. He got a double jointed knee, which is really flexible, and I just enjoy that. So it make up for the lack of a thigh swivel, because his knee can also rotate like that, so it will make do. But then he got like a movement of the feet with a ball joint, and that will be it. Articulation wise, this guy is really impressive. With this, all of that factors and all the joint, I'm really surprised that with a mini figures like this, they managed to pull a really great job of this guy posing, and I really adore that aspect of him. And other than that, he just looked fantastic to me. Accessory wise, this RatTrap only came with a single gun, and this is the same, and this is still the OG looking gun, and to me it looks like kind of a shotgun, and it looks nice. and it can easily be attached, but that goes later. Now let's get to the generation RatTrap gun. And as you can see, they are quite similar. They still have the same shotgun kind of vibe. And this gun is nice, but actually I prefer the generation gun because it looks more bulky, and I love that the generation. But this will do for now. To attach, you simply plug it onto his hand, just like that, and you can hold it easily. And it can also be stored on the back via this over here. So you simply gonna plug it in like that, and then you got some weapon storage. And to me, this is a pretty clever weapon storage because it makes use of the backpack, and that is really nice. Now let's get to some size comparison. So actually, for this size comparison right here, I'm just gonna bring in the Bumblebee one because he's way too small for any other figures. So as you can see, even as the B with the as a small figures, this guy's still shorter than him, really short. But I mean, that is fine because of the Beast War aesthetic is still really unclear till now, and I think like from this, most of the Beast War figure will gonna be a little bit smaller than the other vehicle because let's be honest, they are animals, they are not like vehicle. So that could be it. So that ends my first review of the Transformer Kingdom figures. RatTrap, what do you guys think of him? To me, this is a big improvement from the generation version, and I cannot wait for the upcoming Kingdom figures. I really hope that I'm gonna get the other guys soon, and that could be really interesting to see the modern tech of the simplified and really nice looking cheap version of the Beast War, because a few years back on there are only the Masterpiece series that took care of the Beast War figures, but now we got this line here, which is really nice. So that could be it for today. What did you guys think of this guy? Let me know in the comment section. Let me know in the comment section below. And if you're new to my channel, subscribe and ring the bell for upcoming videos. And follow me on Instagram. That is where I do most of my updates and everything. And also, if you feel like you can help me out with a little bit of figures in the upcoming future, feel free to buy me a coffee. Link is in the description below. So TonTon out.